we got a math question now, and this is kind of this is really hard, I think. It says find m so that the lines with the equations negative 2x plus my equals 5 and 4y plus x equals negative 9 are perpendicular.
All right.
So those are the two lines.
I can take that one. Actually,
Right.
I'm going to pull up just a quick graph so we can talk about what perpendicular means. So I'm just going to pull up some graph paper. I'll just do 5 by 5. So when we talk about perpendicular lines, we're talking about lines that create a 90-degree angle. And what you'll kind of see is they look very specific. 1 second while I pull up a quick graph. Because this is really the first thing we're going to need to figure out what the value of m needs to be. Oh, not get it. There it is. It's very small. See if I can make this bigger. All right, when we talk about perpendicular lines, we're really talking about two lines that intersect. They make a 90-degree angle. They actually make 4 90-degree angles. So I'm going to give you a quick example of what that would look like. Maybe something like this. Here's my one line. Let me draw these at the end, because it's one of my pet peeves, trying to get students to draw the arrows at the end. So I should do it too. And then another one would look like, let's say, kind of like this. So these are perpendicular because they form a 90-degree angle right here and really everywhere. So what you would notice is, if I were to look at this, is that these slopes kind of look opposite. And I'm going to need that, really. I haven't written that down yet. So, sorry, Jeff, could you pull that back up?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I can.
It's kind of sidetracked by trying to get this graph up. So we have these two lines, negative 2x plus
my
equals
5.
And we have another line that says 4y plus x equals negative 9.
Yep, that's right.
Now, I'm not going to go through calculating slope on these, but if you were to calculate, this isn't going to be totally accurate, but you're basically going to have a slope of this line that's going down. It's going to be negative, right, because the line is decreasing or kind of going down from left to right. I could say that this slope is negative 1. And then if you notice that the other line is going the opposite direction. So m equals positive 1. We're going to kind of see, this maybe wasn't the best example, but we have negative reciprocals. So meaning if I rewrote this as 1 over 1 and this as negative 1 over 1, oops, it's a 7. What we're saying is I need to flip them over, and I need to change the sign from negative to positive or positive to negative. So when we look at this, what I need to do is first figure out what is the slope of this line right here. Now, we talked about this a few times on the show, how you're going to convert a line that's written in standard form into slope-intercept form, which is, I'll write above here, y equals mx plus b. What we really need to do is just rewrite this in terms of y. So we need to get this y right here by itself. So we're just going to do some algebra here really quick, and we're going to do minus x equals, or sorry, minus x on both sides. And what I'm left with is 4y equals negative x minus 9. I still need to get this y by itself, so I can divide by 4, and divide everything by 4 over here. And you're going to get some you're going to get some fractions here. I'm going to rewrite this as negative 1/4 x minus 9/4. The good thing about this is all we care about really is the slope when we're looking for perpendicular. Because two lines can be perpendicular really anywhere on the graph as long as they have opposite slopes. So the only number that we actually care about in here, is I'll highlight in blue, is this negative 1/4. So we want our slope of the other line to be a negative reciprocal of that. So flipping it over. So in this case, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to think, okay, I got to get this in the same form, so let me isolate y. I'm going to add 2x on both sides. add 2x on both sides, and I'm going to get my equals 2x plus 5. Now, this looks a little confusing because now you got this variable m in here, and what we're trying to do is figure out the value of m that's going to give us these perpendicular lines. So I'm going to keep on solving by dividing by m on everything now, and I'm going to leave this alone after I do this. So I have y equals 2 over m times x plus 5 over m. And again, the only thing I really care about is that my slopes are negative reciprocals. So just take a step back, because I think the example I gave with 1 and negative 1 isn't super clear. If I have a number negative 1 over 2, let me make a little bit more sense about the 1, like negative 2 over 3. If this is a slope, a negative reciprocal means we are going to take these two numbers and swap them out, right? Reciprocal means you're kind of flipping them over. So my reciprocal would be 3 over 2. And we say negative reciprocal, we're saying this negative becomes positive. So that's what we mean by negative reciprocals for the slopes. So here's what we need. We want this 2 over m to be a negative reciprocal of negative 1 over 4. Again, to figure out the negative reciprocal of this, we would say negative 1 over 4. We're going to flip these numbers around, and we're going to say 4 over 1, and we're going to make it positive instead of negative. So the slope that we actually want, and I don't want to use m here because that might get a little confusing. The slope that we actually want over here is just 4. So we want all of this right here to equal 4. So if we want it to equal 4, we can really just do 2 over m, set it equal to 4, and then we can solve this algebraically. Easiest thing to do is probably make that a fraction, cross multiply, and I get 4m equals 1 over 2, and then we can divide by 4.
1 times 2.
Oh, thanks. I was like, that looks kind of weird, what I had there.
All good.
Yeah, equals 1 times 2, or 2. It's like, this is going to be kind of a weird answer. Thanks for catching that.
No
So
problem.
divide by 4, and we're going to get m equals 1 over 2. This is what we want for our value of m. And you can always check that. I kind of ran out of space here. Maybe make a little bit. By saying that this, if I plug in 1 over 2 for m, it's going to become 4. So 2 divided by 1/2. Then we end up multiplying by the reciprocal. That looks confusing. Times 2 over 1 equals 4. So that is how you would find a perpendicular thinking about negative reciprocal. So hopefully that helped. I think it was kind of a lot of different concepts to go through.
It is.
at
Well,
once.
that's a tough question. There are a lot
Yeah.
of different concepts involved in that, for sure.
Yeah, you have to be very comfortable with what slope means, very comfortable with what a perpendicular line would look like in terms of slope.
That's the key fact, too, I think. is
Right.
The opposite reciprocal.
Exactly.